just like nature is doing outside, we are encouraged to do the same. So I just want to give you permission right off the bat, not that you need it from me, but just to remind you to embrace those natural, intuitive urges that you already have that align with nature. Hello, my loves, and welcome back to my channel. I am so excited that you're here today because I want to dive into something that has really been helping me thrive in this season, which is winter. If you're here with me in the Northern Hemisphere, we are deep in winter, and I know thriving in winter is not something you commonly hear. So that's why I want to share some ways that I've been thriving in this season, and hopefully they can help you on your own alignment journey. So if you're new here, I'm Lindsay Tanner. I have this channel and my podcast to explore what it means to live an aligning, fulfilling, and present life. So I have yoga flows, meditations, talk videos like this, sometimes even vlogs, just to kind of show all aspects of what it means to live an aligning life and how it is unique to every single one of us. But if you are in deep winter like me right now, it can be tough, and I get it. I totally get why so many people have seasonal depression. It's dark most of the day, it's cold, it's dreary, but hopefully I can help shift your mindset around winter to help you thrive in your own way. Like I said, thriving is not something you really associate with winter so much, but I really feel like it's like thriving in a different way that you may not realize. I think the biggest thing that brings us so much suffering in winter is just resisting it. Like we resist the darkness, we resist the cold, we complain about it a lot, and I get it. I totally get it. I grew up here in the Midwest. For the last 6 years, I was living in Phoenix, so I didn't really have winter. My winters were amazing. Summers, on the other hand, were a little tricky. But now being back in the Midwest, I have such an appreciation for each season and the theme of each season. I think it's such a powerful way to live your life, to align with the themes of that season and see how they can help you and how you can leverage those themes to live your most aligning life. Well, in winter, we have this intuitive nudge to hibernate, to slow down, to go within, to not do as much. And that is perfectly normal. Embrace that. Stop fighting it. I think that's where a lot of our hatred towards winter comes from, is we try to fight that natural instinct to hibernate, slow down, and go within. Just like nature is doing outside, we are encouraged to do the same. So I just want to give you permission right off the bat, not that you need it from me, but just to remind you to embrace those natural, intuitive urges that you already have that align with nature. So what are some ways that you can slow down a little bit more? What are some ways that you can hibernate and get cozy? That is one of the best parts of winter, is you get to get all cozy with your comfy sweaters and fuzzy socks and a warm beverage. Can you go and catch up on some shows that you've been wanting to watch, or go and read the books you've been wanting to read? Allow yourself to truly rest. So let's talk about that for a second, because I think we've forgotten how to truly rest. And rest doesn't mean just scrolling on your phone or watching social media, even though I'm so glad that you are here right now. And sometimes social media can be life-giving, but a lot of times it's life-sucking, and we do it unconsciously, right? Allow yourself to truly rest, however that feels for you. Maybe it is catching up on a show. Again, just do it with intention. Or maybe it's doing some yoga, stretching, meditating, napping, journaling, reading. Really ask yourself, what's going to nourish me in the winter? Winter is all about resting and hibernating so we can nourish ourselves and bring our best selves into the next season, which is spring, when we really start to thrive. So I just encourage you to do a gentle audit on your time, your obligations, things you've said yes to. Can you incorporate a little bit more hibernation into your life? Can you allow yourself to follow those natural nudges that we already have? So I truly think a huge part of just thriving in winter is just embracing it. Stop complaining about the weather and use the weather as an excuse to be cozy and stay inside and do nothing and rest and nourish yourself. Now, the next thing kind of seems opposite to that, but again, I think it's really important to our overall well-being. And that is get outside if you can. Obviously, you don't want to be out there too long, especially if it's very cold, depending on where you're at. And of course, I do want to acknowledge people in the Southern Hemisphere are experiencing summer. So go and thrive in summer. Do all the summer things, right? And you can come back to this video if you need to when you're in your winter. Those of us in the northern hemisphere, if you can get outside, do it. We still need that fresh air, vitamin D from the sun. Again, I think that is that connection to seasonal depression that a lot of people experience. I'm not a doctor by any means, but I think a lot of that does come from not being outside, not getting sun, and resisting what is, right? Resisting the natural urges of winter. So if you can go outside, go on a walk. Arlo and I have been doing that. If it's like 40 degrees and above, which that's 40 degrees Fahrenheit, I will put up what the Celsius is if you live in any other country besides the United States. We've been going outside and it feels so good. You know, obviously we bundle up a little bit, but it feels so good to get that fresh air and just connect with nature. Again, connecting with nature fills your soul. It is so good for all aspects of you. And I read somewhere that going outside actually can be really good for your immunity. Again, you want to bundle up. You don't want to go outside not appropriate clothes so you don't get sick in that way. But actually going outside can be good for your immunity. And again, getting that vitamin D from the sun. So if it's sunny outside and if it's above 40 degrees, you better bet we are outside going for a walk. Otherwise, we are staying as cozy as we can inside. Now, the next thing that's really going to help you leverage and thrive in winter is, again, embracing the darkness. And not just the darkness that we are observing more of throughout the day, because our earth is tilted away from the sun, so we're getting more literal darkness outside, but also the darkness that might be coming up for you in your life. This is a time to slow down so you can go within and just kind of, again, take inventory, take stock of what's going on with you. Do you have some stories that you're carrying around, whether they're mind stories or anxieties, that you don't need to carry around? These beliefs that just don't serve you in this season. That's why slowing down is so powerful, because it allows you to observe your thoughts, observe what's going on in your life, reconnect with your awareness and build your awareness. So you're like, okay, this thing that I'm doing is no longer serving me. I'm going to let it go in winter. Such a powerful time to do it. We start to feel those letting go vibes in fall, obviously, with the leaves falling. And then in winter, we are just like truly transforming into whoever we want to be or need to be for this next season. And that's why I love winter so much, is you come out of that hibernation as a new person. And that's okay. Like, we're always changing and evolving and growing. That's a part of life. You know, it's a part of the challenges that we face. Can you use those challenges of winter or from this past year to help you grow into the person that you need to be? So just use this time of slowing down to just go within yourself. Do some extra long, juicy meditations or journal sessions and just get to know yourself again. I did a video about a month ago for the winter solstice, a journal with me video. Go back and do some of those journal prompts if you need a little nudge on what to journal about. It's all about just like reconnecting to what is important to us in this season, because again, that's always changing, and that's so beneficial to figure out now while we're slowing down and hibernating, so we can align the rest of our year with the things that are important to us. Another way that you can really use this time to thrive is maybe get some stuff done indoors that you've been wanting to do. I know a lot of people talk about spring cleaning, but you could do winter cleaning if it's feeling aligning. If you need to rest. But if you want to tidy up a space, get rid of some things, maybe redecorate a little bit, such a beautiful time to do that. We just moved into our house like 2 months ago-ish. So we're still totally in that period of decorating our house. There's stuff laying around everywhere that we need to hang up. And I'm going to use the rest of winter to, not rush that process, but use that time to make this space what we want it to be so we can enjoy it the rest of the year. It's also a beautiful time as we're on the edge of spring, as we're starting to feel that spring energy, but it's not here yet, to maybe just start planting some seeds for spring, literal and figurative. Like, a literal way I'm doing that is I want to start a garden in spring. We finally have a backyard that allows for a garden and a compost. I've been wanting to compost forever. So I'm starting to watch some videos and read some articles about how to do that and kind of plan what I want to plant in my garden, all that stuff. So this isn't a time for massive action unless you truly feel aligned to do so. And I think that's what's so confusing with the new year and all the energy around that, making resolutions and changing everything about your life. No, this is a time, like I said, to rest and slow down and maybe take baby steps towards the things that we're wanting to do. But you don't have to take any massive action. You don't have to completely change your life in winter. And I think that's where a lot of our suffering comes from. That's why we're not thriving in winter, because we are trying to do too much. Now, like I said, I've been living in Phoenix for the past 6 years, so I'm just amazed by the seasons. And one of the best things about seasons is that it makes you so appreciative of and grateful for the next season when it does finally change. So just use this time to ground yourself in what it feels like to be in winter, so that when spring does come, that first warm day, at that first day where you feel the sunshine and you can just feel that rejuvenating energy, we have fully soaked up winter, so we can just be so excited about spring. Now, the next thing I want to talk about are 2 things that you can kind of celebrate during this time, because I always am so perplexed, and this is a deeper topic, probably, definitely, is why is Christmas at the beginning of winter? We need that joy and the lights and all that stuff in deep winter. But we do have some holidays, one you know about, one you may not know about, that you can choose to celebrate to bring some extra cheer and just celebratory vibes into your winter, if that feels aligning to you. The first one you may not have heard of, but if you watched my Witchy and Magical Habits video I did in October, you know that I celebrate the Sabbats, which are the equinoxes and the solstices, and they align with where we're at around the sun, right? The summer solstice is the longest day of the year, the winter solstice we just had is the shortest day of the year, and then you have the equinox, which are the equal distances between those. Well, in between the winter solstice and the spring equinox, and in between each one of the rest of them, is another Sabbat, and this one is called Imbolc. Now, it's February 2nd, I believe, and if I'm not right, I'll put up the exact date, but it's around then. You can celebrate anytime around then. But this dates all the way back to ancient times. And I just think it makes so much sense to celebrate these holidays that we all share, because we're all on this magical rock that is floating through space around a fiery ball. Why would we not mark those significant times as we rotate around the year? It just makes sense. But Imbolc literally means in the belly of the mother. So we're in deep winter, we're in the middle of winter, but we can feel that hope and that taste of spring. It is tangible. You may start to be feeling it outside as it gets a little bit warmer. We're getting a little bit more of daytime each day. So it's just a time to really acknowledge that hope and that renewed sense of positivity. So many ways you can celebrate this, and do your own research if you would like. Any way of going outside is a good way to celebrate this Sabbat, or you can journal or meditate on the Sabbat. Again, look up Imbolc themed meditations or journal prompts on YouTube or on the internet. I know a lot of people also use this time to honor the goddess Bridget. Now, Bridget is the goddess of fertility in spring, which really makes sense heading into spring. Things are starting to come back to life, and spring is a very fertile time. So sometimes people make little Bridget dolls. So that's another way you can celebrate. And one more thing with the goddess Bridget, if any of that sounds interesting to you, or the Sabbat of Imbolc, go and research it. That is one of the most powerful things that I've done, is when I'm curious about something, I go and research it or read a book about it or whatever it may be, and just be open and curious on where it takes you. So if it feels right, you can connect with that goddess, or really just celebrate any way that is intuitive to you as we're in deep winter, feeling that hope and rejuvenation of spring on the horizon. Now, the next holiday you can celebrate, we are pretty familiar with in the modern world, and that is Valentine's Day. But I just encourage you to celebrate it maybe a different way this year, instead of just buying all the candy and the cards and all of that. Not that that's bad, but it can be wasteful and harmful to our planet. Use this as a time to cultivate self-love and connection with yourself, whether you have a romantic partner or not. I think it's just a beautiful time to leverage that collective energy around love to shower yourself with some extra kindness. Can you do some really kind things for yourself? And that doesn't mean a bubble bath necessarily. It can, but can you give yourself really nourishing food, or really pamper yourself with a beautiful night of sleep, or an extra nourishing night routine or morning routine. I don't know, anyway, or going for a walk or whatever it may be. Can you be extra kind to yourself? Like pay attention to how you're talking to yourself and just shower yourself with some extra love, and to those around you. Like it doesn't even have to be a romantic partner. It certainly can. But can you prioritize those connections a little bit more? I think that's another thing that really helps us thrive in winter, is connecting with those around us. I've been prioritizing that this year so far. Like I try to Zoom more with my friends back in Phoenix, or just check in with my friends here, or I will call them or text them, or we even use this app called Marco Polo, which is like video chat, but it's asynchronous, so you can watch it whenever you have time. But nothing fills my heart more than connecting with my friends. We are built for that. We need connection. And sometimes winter can feel very alone. So prioritizing that connection with other people, even though, you are hibernating a little bit, but connecting too can just be so nourishing and feel so good in winter. I hope this video has been useful for you. I hope this has given you some good ideas on how you can thrive in winter, because no matter what season it is, no matter where you're living, we can always remember that we are creating our reality. We create what we see around us with our perspective. So I hope these simple habits kind of helped you reconnect with different ways that you can thrive in this season, so you can head into spring and the rest of the year as your best, most aligned, fulfilled, and present self. If you are new here, please subscribe. Like I said, I have videos pretty much every week covering the topics of how to live our most aligned, fulfilling, and present life. Please like this video if you enjoyed this topic, and of course leave different ways that you are trying to thrive this winter in the comments below, or anything that you found interesting. But I'm sending you all so much love, and of course I will see you in the next video.